Now, the third story is somebody else who's doing the very same thing. This is a story that I read about last night on The Blaze. It's about just a mom. She was watching ABC's Good Morning America, and she was watching with her 8-year-old son, and there was a graphic sexual image on the screen. I mean, really graphic. And it was for a show called Betrayal, and she about lost her mind. The story is up on The Blaze, but she is with us now. Her name is Rebeca Seitz. Hello, Rebecca. How are you?
I'm better today than I was Thursday morning.
What? Tell the story exactly what happened.
Well, my husband was on a business trip, and school starts here pretty soon, so I'm letting the kids sleep in a few more days, and we had slept in, and they had slept in my bed with me because Daddy was gone, and so we did not roll out of bed until a little after 8, and my son and I got up at the same time. We came into the living room, and most mornings we turn on the news. We flip back and forth between GMA and headline news. And I do that so that he can see what's going on in the world. We can talk about what's going on in the world. I can teach him to process those things. There will always be wildfires and earthquakes. And it went to commercial. And I looked up and I thought that I did not just see what I just saw. There's no way they just aired that at 8:30 in the morning. And I turned to my son, and his eyes had gone so wide. And he looked at the TV and he looked at me. And I got it off, and I paused it on a different image, and I told him to go to the refrigerator where he couldn't see the television. And my daughter, thankfully, she was waking up, but she was still in my bedroom, so she couldn't see yet. And I rewound it, thinking it won't be what we think we saw, and so I'll be able to explain to him that that's not what we just saw. And when I rewound it and saw, no, these were two completely nude people simulating sex with the camera was 4 inches below their waist, I thought, oh, okay, well, my husband will have to have a conversation with him about this. And so I snapped a picture and I texted it to my husband. And I said, your son just saw this. You'll need to have a conversation with him when he gets home. I'll talk to him now, but you'll have to do the man-to-man thing when you get home. And he couldn't believe it. And I thought, I've worked in the entertainment industry, the media industry, a long time. And so most of my friends on Facebook are also in that industry. And I thought, they won't believe this. We'll be able to do something about it if they knew about it.
Nope.
And so I put it up on Facebook.
No, they're not going to do anything about it. So what happened then, Rebecca?
Well, I then got a note from Facebook telling me I had violated their community standards, to which I replied, well, yeah, that's kind of the point here. And they took it down. And a friend of mine, people had already started commenting on it, and so a friend of mine messaged me, and she said, you need to put that on your blog so that people can keep talking about this if Facebook has taken it down. So I said, okay, my blog is this. It's not this big, media destination. It's friends and clients go there just to see what I've been thinking about. And so I put it on my blog so that those people on Facebook could still go over there and talk. And it went nuts at all of these people seeing it going, I cannot believe that was on your television at 8:30 in the morning.
It's amazing to me that ABC has lower standards than Facebook does.
I know.
I mean, that's
I
amazing.
know, it's sad.
Okay, so you wrote, I understand that we've ceded the idea of morality in prime time, a moronic move, but one, we, and by we, I mean Jesus-following folk, have to own. What do you mean by that?
Well, I grew up in that generation where our president told us that it depended on what the definition of is, and everything became very relevant, at least in my generation. So you made your own truth. You made your own standards. There were no absolutes. That's what we were being taught anyway. And we were taught that if we believed there were absolutes, moral absolutes, then we needed to hush. We were completely not cool, out of the mainstream. We needed to just shut up. And so I think a lot of us did. I know I did. And so I think in shutting up and sitting down, we ceded a lot of the ground that we're looking at now going, oh, my gosh, how did it get to that point? Well, it got to that point because we weren't there. And that's been the big eye-opener to all of these responses on my blog and on The Blaze of so many of these people are posting, well, I just threw out the cable box, I just threw out television years ago, and we just don't have it. And I keep asking these people, well, if you do that, then what will our children have in 10 years? If we just leave, then we have no voice. We have no say in what's on that TV if we just leave. We have to stay and fix it. We have to stay and have a voice. And so that's been a big eye-opener for me.